What happens when the family meant to protect you becomes the reason you vanish. My name is Stephen, and this is how I walked away, and why I'll never go back. I tore my mother's letter to pieces last night. The scraps floated on the wind before vanishing into the Pacific. Paper disintegrates faster than memory, but at least paper doesn't bleed. 7 months ago, I stuffed my world into a dented pickup and drove away from Maryland. 2,500 miles later, the Atlantic's chokehold was behind me, and the wild Oregon coast opened wide, salt air sharp as glass, cliffs carved by storms, waves that didn't know how to stop. For the first time in years, I felt like I could breathe. That last morning in my apartment, rain streaked the windows as if the sky itself wanted to wash me out. My hands shook as I taped boxes, writing crooked labels. Clothes, cameras, guilt. Claire and Nate, my only constants, moved quietly around me, stacking pieces of my life into crates. "You're really not going to call them?" Claire asked, her voice part question, part plea. I didn't look up. Just smooth tape across cardboard. They haven't asked about me in years. Why would they care now? Nate hefted a box into the truck. "That's brutal," he muttered. But he didn't push. He knew the weight behind my silence. By dusk, the apartment was a husk. Bare walls, dust shadows where frames once hung, a scuffed mark where my couch used to be. I stood in the doorway, waiting for regret to punch through me. It never came. I slammed the tailgate shut, the cold metal burning my fingers, and we drove west. Cities dissolved into plains. Plains crumbled into mountains. Mountains broke into restless coast. Somewhere along the way, the knot in my chest loosened. My new place wasn't perfect, a weathered loft with a skylight that leaked during storms. But it was mine. I nailed up shelves crooked, hung black and white photos I'd taken, filled the space with meals spiced by choice, not duty. Claire and Nate visited often, pizza boxes and bad jokes spilling across my kitchen. And every Tuesday, my Aunt Margaret called. Her voice was a hearth, warm and steady, always asking about me. Just me. No one else asked. No one else called. Until 10 days ago. My phone buzzed with a name I hadn't seen in years. Margaret Lane. My mother. The sight of it twisted my stomach. I let it ring 5 times before I answered. Her voice came sharp, brittle. "Stephen, you need to come back this weekend." No greeting. No how are you. Just a command. I knew why. My brother Owen was getting married. His fiancée's family wanted perfection, smiling parents, perfect sons, an unbroken portrait. I was the missing prop. "I'm busy," I said. And I hung up, but the calls kept coming. Texts from my father. Voicemails from Owen. Each one edged sharper, as if my absence was theft. My father's voice was the worst. Smooth, rehearsed concern. "Son, it's just one night. For Owen. For us." That word, us, never included me. I was 11 when I realized I didn't exist to them. That year, I won a photography contest. My picture made the local paper. I clipped it out, taped it on the fridge, and waited for pride. No one noticed. But when Owen scored a goal in soccer, steak dinner, balloons, praise spilling like champagne. At 15, I won a $1,000 grant for a film workshop. I told my mother over breakfast, hope trembling in my voice. Her reply, "Don't make a big deal of it, Stephen. Owen's got exams." That was the last time I asked them to see me. I clawed through college with scholarships and weekend gigs. Built a career in digital forensics, piecing together puzzles of corrupted data for a Seattle firm. I saved. I built. I breathed. For once, my life was mine. Yesterday was Owen's wedding. I didn't go. Instead, I walked the cliffside trail, the ocean tearing itself into foam below me. The air was alive, sharp with salt, and for once, I didn't look back. When I returned, Margaret called. It was chaos, she said. Hannah, Owen's fiancée, had noticed my empty chair. Her parents asked questions. Why hadn't anyone mentioned me? Why did my name surface only days before? My parents scrambled, spinning lies. I was overseas. I was on a work trip. I was sick. But Hannah's father wasn't fooled. Here's what no one knew. Hannah's father is a retired detective. He'd already been digging. For weeks, he traced my life, my records, my career, every absence where my family should have been. At the reception, he stood during the toast. 200 guests watching. And he gutted the illusion. He told them how my parents had erased me, sidelined me, buried me. He turned to Hannah and said he couldn't let her tie herself to a family that buries its own son. Hannah walked out. Owen stumbled after her. The wedding, polished, perfect, flawless, collapsed in the silence they left behind. This morning, I signed the deed for a cabin. It's not much. A porch, a patch of land wild enough for flowers. But the paper carries my name. Every line.
Mine.
Margaret texted me after. Proud of you, kid. Grow something fierce. Next week, Claire and Nate will drive down. We'll plant seeds, tomatoes, sunflowers, something stubborn. Something that lasts. The calls still come. The voicemails pile up. But I don't open them. Last night, I stood at the cliff. The ocean roared like it had been waiting for me all along. And I finally understood. I'm not hiding. I'm not running. I'm building. This life, this home, these roots, they're mine. And I'm done waiting for anyone else to see me. If this story struck a chord, share it. Drop a comment about your own moment of breaking free. And subscribe for more stories like this. Raw, unfiltered, true. Thanks for listening. Bye, Betrayed 2.